love and honor and respect their dads. And I don't know of any dry tears that day, just because it was so powerful, and how these guys were saying how much they loved their dad, and how their dad was an earthly representation of their heavenly Father. And that's why we as men want to step up and be the men and the fathers God has called us to be. We also had, for the second year in a row, our Friends and Family Sunday, where we had men just share what they loved about Christ Church, what they loved about you all. And that was just a time of encouragement. We had a potluck over at my house, and we just enjoyed one another. We did what the book of Acts, the 2nd chapter said. We enjoyed the favor of God's people. We just loved each other. We loved being around each other. We encouraged one another. And we think, you know what sets us apart is where we really are a church family. And that's something that we emphasized. Another thing that we've done this year is we've emphasized and continued on being a biblical church. One of the things that we've always made known is this church belongs to Christ, and we're a people of His Word. And one of the things that we've done is we've done a lot of expository teachings of Bible books. And I don't know if any of you know this, but I know our men from our men's meeting know this, and I think this is a huge achievement. In the 4.5 years since I've been here, our men, through our preaching and through our teaching, have been dedicated to teach the whole counsel of God, both the easy messages and the hard and convicting messages. Because we want to teach all of what God says, and because all of what God says matters. In the 4.5 years that I've been here, our men have rose to the challenge. And one of the great things that we've actually seen is, in the 4.5 years, we have almost taught through almost the whole New Testament. The only 3 books of the Bible that we have not yet covered through our preaching and Bible classes is Galatians, the Gospel of Luke, and Revelation. All of which next year we're going to be covering. We're going to be covering Luke, we're going to be covering Galatians, and beginning next year on Wednesday nights, we're actually going to be covering the book of Revelation. And so one of the amazing things is by the end of next year, we would have covered the whole New Testament in 5.5 years. And one of the amazing things is we didn't only just cover the New Testament, we have taught a lot of the Old Testament. We've done a survey of every book of the Old Testament. We have taught through the minor prophets. We've taught through the first 5 books of the Bible, the Law of Moses, and we've taught so many of the other books. So when it comes to teaching the whole counsel of God, we really are doing that. And it's an amazing thing. Another aspect that we have done this year is we incorporated a new ministry in which we passed out Thanksgiving baskets. And we gave complete meals because we wanted our community to know that we love them because Christ loves them. That we wanted to be generous and give to them without strings attached. Because oftentimes people only give with strings attached, but we wanted to let people know we're just giving it because we love you. We love Jesus Christ. And so one of the great things is we gave out Thanksgiving baskets, and you all came up and were completely generous. We filled up and we gave out 9 baskets. And I know a church that's a little bit bigger, is about 4 or 5 times bigger than us, and they only gave out a few more baskets than we did. And they were excited that the impact that we made. And you know what? That's a great thing. You guys were called to be generous, and you were. You guys all made a huge difference. And actually, a lot of you came up and said, is there any more we can give? And we said, not at this time. But we encourage you to continue on being generous this next year, because when you sacrifice and give gifts and show kindness and generosity and serve without strings attached, it makes a huge difference. I could keep going on and on about the variety of things that we have done this year. But I just wanted to list some of those things. And I want you to realize, you know what? We have done more than we have thought. We're growing more than we have realized. That God has used and blessed us more than we can ask or imagine. And we want to take this momentum into 2014. And we want to have hearts of thankfulness and gladness. Because we want to constantly focus on the message of Christ and the cross. And when we constantly have hearts of prayer and thanksgiving and joy, then it helps us remember all the things God is doing in our lives and what God has done for us and what God plans to do for us. I hope you guys will be excited about this upcoming year in 2014. I hope you will be actively involved and participate and be more active than you had before, more kind than you have, more generous than you have, more prayerful than we have, and more committed. Because if you do, God will use you to do His will. And as we have said, we want to do that. We want to fulfill our vision. And that is to glorify God by being disciples and making disciples. We want to stand before Christ one day and hear the words, "Well done, good and faithful servant. Come and share in your master's happiness." So as we reflect on 2013, I encourage you, as you leave, take time to pray to God and just thank Him for this great year. How He has changed your life. How He's helped you grow. Even thank Him for the struggles and hardships you went through, because it just made you stronger to do His will in 2014. And as individuals and as God's congregation, I believe that we have been called and will do and rise up to the call to make a difference in 2014. So I encourage you to all be a part of that